Welcome to episode 41 of Randall Vision. I'm your host, Randall. Right on the heels of filming the last episode, I was able to spit out something on a first take with not much forethought put into it. And doing that little productive thing, which was kind of inspired by my partner. She said out loud that, "Oh, I ought to learn that thing you say." And earlier than that, she had mentioned, like, "Hey, yeah, do you know any podcasts I should listen to? Or maybe I'll finally listen to your thing." So, prompted by those two statements, I made a thing that it's like, oh, she probably will listen to me saying my affirmations. There should probably be an edited version where it's just the affirmation without the forward and afterword there. But it is gorgeous right now. Dare I say, perfect out here. That it's towards the end of October. I don't know. I truly do not know today's date. It's Tuesday. I got a drink and a smoke here. And yeah, stepping out, praying at noon, I was like, it is very nice out. I should probably go do something else outside beyond that. And just in general, today I felt a little bit of inertia, like object at rest tends to stay at rest, object in motion tends to stay in motion. I mildly got in motion today, and I'm trying to carry that momentum into something productive. I think my pacing's right. Like this whole series and all that, the timestamps, the boy, oh, he banged out a few of them here, or oh, there's been weeks or months in between some here. That's all part of the gimmick. I guess it's a gimmick. Forethought did not. There was forethought, but not in a specificity, like the difference between an idea and what happens in reality. Reality may just be made up of ideas, but we experience it in a particular and hyper-specific way that, like, in reality, things are what they are to the point of seeming objective. Does that objectivity exist? I don't know. I don't think so. I think everybody else has a different one. But we, through the use of language and symbols and science and whatever, we try to come to as close of an understanding to what other people are talking about. And when you think, that's not what's occurring. The thought is, to a greater or lesser extent, not nearly as specific as the manifestation that takes place in reality. So I can't show you an idea. I could fumble around with words to produce the illusion of an idea, or to engender the formation of the idea from someone else's perspective. Like, that's what these videos do. That me talking, if the viewer is following along, then I'm painting the portrait of an idea using language. And that's what we all do. That's I'm not special. I think I've said that before. Almost dropped my old fashioned. No, the woods are very lovely today. You can see some little bit of colors. I'll spin the camera around before it's over. To the feeling of walking down here, whenever I brought the tripod and stool down, you know how sometimes you're in a swimming pool and you can feel pockets of warm and cold water? Well, walking down here, I could feel the pockets of warm and cool air, and like, I don't know, it's just, this is good stuff. Like when people romanticize the fall, this is the thing that they're commonly referring to, not always. The amount of gaps that have been left in this series are kind of laughable. That towards the beginning, some of the emphatic, panicked, highly emotional, that performance was genuine and authentic. I've continued to undergo such experiences that I describe in the earlier episodes, almost on a unrelenting schedule, but the urgency to communicate it isn't there. That I'm becoming more and more resigned to the fact that it's my struggle alone. That the things that I want help with, there's no one to help me. Like, or I am that person, and to outsource any further is spiritual bypass or whatever. Like, nah, dude, that's your shit. You got to go through it. And I'm not saying that I don't or haven't been getting help. I do. I'm in therapy. I have been for a while, like weekly. And I don't know. I don't think reassuring's the right word. Like, the ball's still in my court. Whenever I talk to the therapist and she goes, yes, this all sounds very well and good and sane, or like there's no issue with whatever, that leads me to believe that I'm just good at my bullshit. If you say something and there's no pushback, then you've constructed the narrative making yourself be the good guy or whatever. Like, look at, boy, I do all this stuff right, or look, my bills are getting paid, or whatever. Look at how responsible I am, or I don't break things. I avoid negatively influencing other people. It's the construction of a narrative. And I'm aware that there's more than one perspective and that I'm not always the good guy. That quite often, from other perspectives, I would be the bad guy. And I think what my condition is comprised of is that my mind can simultaneously construct both narratives, they coexist, and they equal zero. For as many right things as I'm doing, I do wrong things, or something like that. But not, that's too reductive and simplistic of a abstraction or labeling process to suit the needs of the contemporary rational mind. Because it's not complete. I just got the image of a taut chord, like a harp string, and a person is one of those strings. And while you're alive, that's when the string's vibrating. And that's why people can see you. And like, we're just a chord stretched across some sort of sphere with start and end points. Like, there's a finitude to this. And I don't think it could be otherwise. Like, there's words in our language that fail. And infinity's one of them. Like, I want to live forever. That's not real. That's not a thing. Live for a very long time or unimaginably long time, yes. But forever, that's not real. Like, time's not real. So, but since there's something instead of nothing, what is that? And it's that vibrating string. And I can see how the oscillations pass and return to the stationary chord. But I don't want to say powerless. Nope. My drink. Jerk. I'm not powerless to the fluctuations of the harp string, but I've come to realize that muffling it or stifling it, because I think that's what needs to be done, like the volition of the self. I'm allowed to vibrate. I'm just not supposed to be so confident about the way in which so to do that. Or that the longer things go on, the more obvious it becomes that I was vibrating correctly the whole time, whether I wanted to or not. There's certain direction. There's several directions, maybe even more than several directions that you can say reality is this on top of this, on top of this, on top of this, on top of this. And the one that applies here is waves or wavelengths that I don't think our physicality doesn't really transcend other planes, but I think electromagnetism does. So that the patterns that we experience can frequently be modeled as waves is fitting. Like that would be it's waves the whole way down, you know, not particles, waves. I'm not saying particles don't exist or we don't have them. Sure we do, but everybody doesn't, or all of the things. I don't know. I don't think I'm into making any more points here. A question I had earlier is, does the monad, the non-dual state of being, do folks only consider that so far as time space is concerned? Because I easily agree with that. But to imply that the monad is applicable to states of being or reality or whatever existence outside of time space, I think would be it's tougher to sell me on that. And the reason so for being is that well then no. Depending on the answer, what the great filter is would be two different things. For example, if the monad is just time-space, then crossing the great filter is time-space sharing information with something that's adjacent or whatever, or that could be communicated with. So, like, our God talking to another God or whatever, and that would be crossing the great filter. But if the monad encompasses more dimensions, realities, so on, things outside of the time space, our time space, then crossing the great filter would mean that our literal physical species, which is as a thing, I don't think things exist in such a way that would speak to an intelligence that evolved within time space. And I think where and when we encompass is the manifestation of the monad. But our branch, like that I don't know. I've lost what I said. It was a question. I don't have answers. And I don't even know what I'm asking anymore. So I hope you enjoyed that. Yeah, it's nice out today. It's so lovely. Here, I promised some trees. Oh, look at that. That sucker's gorgeous. That's the prettiest one I think we got going right now. Oh, except for that one that was behind me the whole time. Yeah. I don't know. Oh, yeah, that's one more topic here. How much? Round low on battery. There's Pinky's grave. I should probably devote a whole separate episode. Did I show it? I didn't. There we go. I'm not a cameraman. Yeah, I'll do a whole episode on that. I got a lot of thoughts involved, and that would probably assist in the grieving process. I don't think I've worked through everything that I need to work through surrounding an event like that. Like, I handled the day of and the days following as best as I could. It was good. I did well. But the way I've engaged with the world has changed so drastically that it feels like the process was missing steps, or what it like. Sure, yeah, on the one hand, am I over it? Yeah, like that was the finality of what needed to be done. Like there's no doubt or shame or guilt or anything involved. But like missing someone or something is that's real. That's different. Um, so yeah, in a upcoming episode, I could talk more about that. Um, did I close the last video? We'll see. Doesn't matter. Remember, you're a sovereign individual. Do what thou wilt.